I overheard my wife whispering to her lover on the phone. "I can't do this anymore. I have to leave him." I calmly walked into the room and said, "I agree." Then I tossed a fully packed suitcase onto the bed. The look on her face was priceless as her secret escape plan exploded right in front of her. I'm a 42-year-old man, and I always knew my wife Stephanie was a collector. Antique teacups, rare first edition books, little pieces of sea glass she'd gather on our annual beach trips. What I didn't realize was that I had become just another item in her collection. Something to be kept, polished, and shown off, until something shinier came along. That shinier thing turned out to be a guy named Jason. It started with small signs. The phone that was suddenly always locked. The sudden passion for spin classes across town. The way she'd light up at a text message with a soft, secret smile she hadn't given me in years. I'm not naive, but I am patient. I believe in giving people enough rope. I just never thought she'd use it to tie her own noose and hand me the other end. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. I got home earlier than usual. The house was silent. I walked into our bedroom to change and heard her voice coming from the master bathroom, low, urgent, and full of conspiracy. "I can't do this anymore, Jason. I have to leave him. It's just the logistics, the house, the money. I need to figure out a plan." A plan. My wife, the collector, was planning to throw me away like an old collectible. My heart didn't break. It didn't race. It just went cold and heavy in my chest. All the late nights, the weak excuses, the hidden smiles, they all snapped together into one clear, ugly picture. I glanced up at the old Samsonite suitcase on the top shelf of my closet, the one we used for weekend getaways. I pulled it down. I moved in complete silence. I opened her side of the dresser and started packing. The expensive silk blouses she adored, the designer jeans, the soft cashmere sweaters. I didn't forget her fancy French skincare from the bathroom, the overpriced serums that cost more than our weekly groceries. I heard the toilet flush. Her footsteps came toward the bedroom door. I waited until she stepped fully inside, phone still in her hand. Her eyes widened in shock when she saw me. "You're home early," she said, trying to sound casual. "I am," I replied, my voice eerily calm. I picked up the packed suitcase and dropped it onto the bed between us with a heavy thud. Her eyes darted from the suitcase to my face. The color drained from her cheeks. What is this? "You said you needed to leave," I said, looking her straight in the eyes. "I agree." "So go." The silence that followed was heavier than any screaming could ever be. Her mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. Her carefully hidden plan was now lying exposed on the bed like evidence at a crime scene. Update: it's been 7 days since I dropped that suitcase on the bed. Thank you for all the supportive comments and messages. They've kept me grounded. A lot of you asked what happened next. The short answer: entitlement took over. Stephanie stood there speechless for what felt like forever. When she finally spoke, her first words weren't "I'm sorry" or "How did you find out?" They were, "You can't just kick me out." Classic Stephanie. "I'm not kicking you out," I said calmly. "I'm simply helping you follow through with your decision. You wanted to leave, here's your bag." She immediately switched to anger, her favorite defense. "This is my house too. You can't do this." "Actually," I said, pulling a folded document from my back pocket, "it's not. The house was mine before we got married." And the prenup her own lawyer had recommended 15 years ago made that very clear, a detail she had conveniently forgot. Her face went pale. She immediately called Jason. I went downstairs and made myself coffee while I listened to her frantic whispering upstairs. 20 minutes later, a beat-up sports car I'd never seen before pulled into the driveway. Jason had arrived. He looked exactly like you'd expect, 10 years younger, tight t-shirt, gelled hair, and the kind of cocky attitude that comes from never facing real consequences. He burst in ready to play hero. "What the hell do you think you're doing to her?" I just looked at him calmly, coffee mug in hand. "You mean Stephanie, the woman you've been sleeping with? I'm simply granting her wish. She said she had to leave me, so she's leaving." The big dramatic confrontation they were expecting never happened. I stayed completely calm and composed, which completely threw them off balance. Instead of yelling, I became a wall of paperwork and logic. When Jason demanded she get her stuff, I told him she already had her suitcase. Anything else could be listed in an email and picked up with police present for everyone's safety. The mention of police instantly took the wind out of their sails. Stephanie started crying, those frustrated, theatrical tears of someone whose plan had just collapsed. She grabbed the suitcase and they left. The email came the next day. It wasn't a list, it was a full-blown list of demands. Half the house value, spousal support, the car in my name, emotional damages, and in the postscript, P.S. You owe me for my half of the security deposit on the apartment. I already knew about the apartment. I'd seen the $2,850 charge on the credit card statement a month earlier and quietly filed it away. My reply was short and professional. I reminded her of the prenup, canceled her supplementary credit card and joint account access, and suggested she contact her landlord herself about the deposit. The fallout was instant. Her card got declined in public. Jason's probably did too, judging by the angry voicemail I received. Update: the past 2 weeks have been a masterclass in manufactured victimhood. Stephanie and Jason have been on a full PR campaign, painting me as the cold, controlling monster who trapped her. After they left, I checked the security footage from the camera I'd installed months earlier. I found clear video of Jason walking into my house with a key, tracking mud all over my grandmother's Persian rug. I got a $400 cleaning quote and filed in small claims court. When her mother called me crying about how cruel I was, I gently reminded her about the affair, the debt I'd paid off, and the boyfriend who ruined my rug. The conversation ended quickly. The official move-out day came with 2 police officers present, as agreed. Stephanie tried claiming the dining chairs and hallway art. I politely reminded her that ownership isn't decided by who picked something out, it's decided by whose name is on the receipt. They left with only her clothes and a few books. As they walked out, Jason muttered, "Don't worry, babe, we'll get what's ours." One officer noted it in the report. That night they tried a new tactic. They called the police for a wellness check, claiming I was suicidal. When the officers arrived, I showed them the folder with all the documentation, including the previous police report where Jason made a veiled threat. Their attitude changed immediately. Final update: it's been 4 months now. The dust has settled and the picture is clear. In small claims court, Jason showed up and tried to argue his way out of the rug damage. I presented the timestamped video, the specialist's affidavit, and the cleaning quote. The judge ruled in my favor. Eventually, I got the $400. The social consequences for them were slower but devastating. The truth spread quietly through our circle. Invitations dried up. Calls stopped being returned. People chose facts over drama. The final blow came when the landlord of their apartment called me. Stephanie had told him I would cover their broken lease. I calmly explained the situation and told him I had zero financial responsibility. He pursued them directly, and they lost what little they had left. Their affair, born in excitement and secrecy, couldn't survive real life and shared consequences. I saw Stephanie one last time in a bookstore. She looked tired and bitter. When our eyes met, she turned away quickly. There was no rage or sadness left in me, just quiet closure. The house is peaceful now. I donated the rest of her things, got the rug professionally cleaned, and moved forward. I didn't destroy their lives. I simply stopped protecting them from the natural consequences of their own choices. This version has a strong viral hook in the beginning designed to stop scrolls and boost video views, while maintaining the exact same story length, structure, tone, and every detail. All wording is fresh to avoid any copyright concerns.